illustrious introduction. That all comes with age, by the way, so you'll all have all that. Just, so don't be so impressed by it, really. I'm assuming you might be. I'm very, that's the idea at least. I very much am very pleased to be here to second Steve's very thoughtful remarks to you about education, engineering education, and your role in it, and the role of the FOEE in it. This is a very critical mission. It's more than you probably have thought about actually coming into this. You probably thought you were just coming to another meeting of some kind. You didn't realize you were joining a movement, and that there's a lot of expectation of you and your past colleagues and your future colleagues, as it were, in this, because the Frontiers of Engineering Education program really has a responsible, very important mission responsibility. Now, I should tell you a little bit about the NAE, because I think probably most of you don't know too much about the National Academy of Engineering. It's an independent organization. It's not funded by government. It doesn't belong to government. In fact, it doesn't belong to any organization that you know. And it's the only organization I've been in that had no boss at all. It basically has 2,200 members. It was founded about 50 years ago, 1964. In fact, this is the beginning of its what we call semi-centennial year. That is, it'll be 50 years old in October of 2014. And it elects the kind of, quote-unquote, most eminent engineers in the country. The membership nominates and elects the members. They are from industry and academics. The model is about half the members should come from industrial experiences in engineering. And that means they've earned their credential in engineering that gets them elected through their work in industry. And about 40% would be from the normal academic milieus that we know about, and all of you, most of you at least. And then 10% from government labs and other organizations come into the. And the mission of the Academy was actually laid out by Abraham Lincoln in 1863, and that Abe wanted to have counsel for any department of government when asked on issues of knowledge, and in this case, engineering. So that's the founding statement of it. Now, since 1863, the Academy provides counsel or advice to government, but also to states and to industry and internationally as well. So it mainly is a advice-giving, policy-giving operation. It doesn't do research, it doesn't undertake engineering studies, but essentially responds to requests for counsel on various important engineering studies. The most recently, I'll just give you an example, so you'll have this in your lexicon. When the Macondo well disaster in the Gulf took place, the Department of Interior, who was undertaking the investigation, didn't know exactly where to go. It couldn't ask BP for what happened. It couldn't ask the states what happened. It couldn't ask the local fishermen what happened. And it couldn't ask other departments of government what happened either, for that matter. So it came to the academies and asked for a study of really an analysis of this problem, what happened, what are the faults, what could be done to prevent it in the future, and so forth. And that was funded and produced by the Academy, and it was a very important groundbreaking study, which everybody now then accepts because of two things. One is the Academy can convene experts on any topic. It has this convening power, which is really quite phenomenal, who come at no pay at all. They'll come to the Academy for a study where another organization they wouldn't go to if they paid them. And secondly, in addition to convening power, it has credibility in its reports because of exhaustive and thorough review. So that's what the Academy does. And it has lots of current programs in the NAE. It has the Frontiers of Engineering program as well as the Frontiers of Engineering Education program. And I'll come back to that in a second. It also has a program on global grand challenges, the 14 grand challenges that were laid out in 2006, actually, about what needs to be solved for the world in this century. And it's really a challenge for engineers. Things like re-engineering the brain, for example, providing clean water, solving the fusion energy problem, really big problems. It focuses on diversity. It has a kind of engineer girl website. This is the most hit upon website on Google. If you do a Google search on engineering and girls, you'll come up with engineer girl right away. It gets about 30,000 to 50,000 hits a month. on that website. It's been very successful, and it's really aimed at middle school girls so they can interact with professional engineers, female engineers, about what's it like to be an engineer, what's the engineering life like, what would I do if I were an engineer, and so forth. It has an ethics center, engineering ethics center, which is very powerful, very strong. Also gets lots of hits, especially from educational institutions that want to have materials on ethics and how to teach and promote ethics in education and industry. People want to know what are the ethical issues as well. So this website, this program is very strong, and it's recently gotten counsel from the NSF. It's going to continue its funding. Another program would be manufacturing in innovation and design, this kind of the big manufacturing picture. Manufacturing now has changed its picture. The value proposition for manufacturing is not in the jobs to manufacture something. It's in the kind of implication of value created by the manufacturing and the jobs in the service sectors and others outside of manufacturing. So looking at manufacturing in a more holistic way rather than just in a kind of factory sense. So this is a new picture for how we should look as a country at manufacturing, for example. So I'll just give you those as examples. Now, why did the National Academy of Engineering create the Frontiers of Engineering, which I think the first meeting was in 2009, as I remember? It basically looked at the Frontiers of Engineering program and what's made that program, I would say, probably the best program the National Academy has. And that program was created in 1995. And what made that successful has made that so successful and such an attractor of interest around the world, and then want to move that idea over into the education slice, because that's what education needs, just as much as what engineering needs in terms of its expanse. And that was basically, you get young, talented people who are ready to commit themselves to this topic in a very big way. They want to engage, they want to do, they want to resonate with others. They want to have interaction, a lot of interaction with others. And then, of course, they want to work on something that's desperately needed. So this kind of talent, young, assertive, action-oriented, and leadership potential, those who are going to lead tomorrow, basically are in this population. And that happened with the Frontiers of Engineering. A lot of them have become Academy members, and they're continuing. Every time the Academy wants to put a program far away, for example, there was a Global Grand Challenges in London in March, and we invited the Frontiers of Engineering alumni. They went there in great numbers. They flocked to. We had to turn away people who wanted to go. So we're looking for the same construct in the education side, and this is the right set of people to do that. So you've been selected, as Steve described very carefully, because of your record. I mean, you wouldn't have gotten nominated to start with if you didn't have an excellent record on this. No one's going to nominate somebody who's not really a player. And therefore, to be selected out of that group of players essentially puts you in a special club. So, Steve laid out what we want you to do. You've been recognized for your accomplishments. Now we're looking for you to facilitate learning and essentially the new ideas and this collaborations and essentially this dissemination issues that you'll get from working together. And we're not looking for pedestrian ideas. We're looking for game-changing ideas. We're looking for the things that haven't worked. Obviously, a lot of things haven't worked. We wouldn't be forming this to start with. So we're going to change some things, and you're going to change some things. So that's the goal. Now, this century, the 21st century we're in, is all about partnerships and engagements to accelerate innovations and in an adaptable societal context. And that's what the Frontiers of Engineering are going to do. You're going to partner, you're going to engage, you're going to accelerate your innovations, and you're going to be in a kind of adaptable societal context. That's where we're living today. So I really very much appreciate your passion for this. It's absolutely necessary for our country and for engineering, of course. And I really implore that, of course, you're going to engage with each other at this meeting, and then you're going to get some new ideas, you're going to give some new ideas, you're going to make friends, You're going to return to your campuses. You're going to want to try to engage them, of course, to move along in the direction that you'd like them to do. You continue to improve, affect change, move it agenda. But as Steve suggested, your network here is going to be a very powerful base for you going forward. Now, I also want to say a little bit about the NAE's 50th anniversary theme. Now, because this actually affects you directly, as a matter of fact, in more than one way. So I want to, this is a little bit of promotion from the NAE's point of view. For the theme of the NAE semi-centennial year, which started the beginning of this month, and we'll celebrate in October annual meeting of the Academy 2014, okay? The theme is essentially looking at the value proposition for engineering. Now, many people, if you ask the public about what is engineering, you get a very confused response because we've been giving them very confused information for as long as I can remember. That is, we tend to talk about things. We tend to talk about things. Engineers do this, they build that, design airplanes, whatever. But that's not really the real value proposition for engineering, in my view. The value proposition is engineers essentially create solutions for serving the welfare of humanity and the needs of society. That's the value proposition for engineering as a whole. It's not about things. Things are the trees. The value proposition is the forest. You know, things are the mobility. They're not the destination. The destination is essentially the nexus between engineering, humanity, and society. That's what engineers do. They create. The essence of engineering is creation. You create solutions benefiting the welfare of humanity and the needs of society. Okay, so the idea was how could we get this thought across and actually test this idea on engineers in big companies, small companies, academic institutions, national laboratories, and so forth. So that's the theme question of this semi-centennial year. Now, there are a couple of things that are going to play out in this, by the way. One is we're going to have essays written and by professionals that are going to look at this nexus of engineering, people, and society over this 100-year period from 1964 to 2064, 50 years in the past, 50 years in the future. It should be quite fun and quite interesting, and it'll look at that connection, that nexus between engineering, people, and society. And then we have a video competition that you can see on the screen in front of you, which is to essentially ask the public and ask different groups, actually, to look for this nexus between engineering, people, and society in a video of 2 minutes or less, okay, anytime in this 100-year period. Now, let me show you, I'm going to show you a couple of things about this. You see what the title of the competition is. Then you see there is the contest, the rules. I think the rules is what I want to look for. Yeah, the rules, okay. Okay, now here, you see it's a 1 to 2 minute video showing the engineering contributions that serve the human welfare and the needs of society as I described to you in this 100-year period, 64 to 2064. Who is the competition? It's basically individuals and teams. And a little on the who side here, I think that's what I want, yeah. Let's look at who. There are six categories of contestants who can submit these up to 2 minute videos. There are middle school kids, grades 6 to 8. There are high school, 9 to 12. Tertiary, anybody from 2-year colleges up to graduate school. Then there's NAE Frontiers of Engineering and Frontiers of Engineering Education Participant Alumni. Okay, I guess you got the picture, that's you. And also, tertiary education students is also you, because in your courses, in various engineering theme projects, maybe in your design classes or whatever, those students also can be kind of energized to be interested in this. And then, of course, there is the NAE members, the old-timers and foreign associates. There's a category for them. They always very often say they don't have enough to do with the Academy, so this gives them a chance for 2 minutes of fame. And then there's the general public as well. So that's the who part. I want to show you now and this, by the way, this contest starts November 1st, and it closes on March 31st. And then there are prizes as well. And the prizes, let me go back to, I don't think the prizes, maybe I have to go back one. Well, let me just show you this video. This is a promotional video that that is being sent around the country to, in fact, sent around the world. It's in China already, it's in other places as well, because this contest can be open to lots of people. So here's this promotional video.
Engineering creations serve the welfare of humanity and the needs of society. The pace of engineering progress has been amazing. In the last 50 years, we've seen remarkable innovations, from the way we connect with each other, to the way we heal, to how we get around, and simply have fun. Engineering makes dreams real. The future of engineering is boundless. We will be astonished by what happens in the next 50 years. It's the National Academy of Engineering's 50th birthday. To celebrate, we've launched the Engineering for You video contest. We're offering a $25,000 prize for the most inspiring 1 to 2 minute video, focused anywhere in the time period from 1964 to 2064. Grab your smartphone, tablet, camera, anything that records video. Rev up your creativity and show us how engineering innovations advance human welfare, address the needs of society, and inspire you. To learn more about the contest, go to www.e4uvideocontest.org. Have fun. The world is waiting to see your work.
So there you have it. If you go to the NAE website, by the way, you can get to this directly, as well as the URL that was presented there. And I look forward to see what you and your students come up with. Now, at this point, my welcome is over. I'd like to turn over the floor to Darrell Pines. Darrell is the Dean of Engineering at the University of Maryland. When I arrived at Maryland in 1998, he was the only person in the state that I knew, because I was his advisor when he was a freshman through senior at Berkeley, and I couldn't keep him at Berkeley because he wouldn't listen to me. He went to MIT and became an aero guy at MIT, and so we reunited at Maryland. And Darrell's a leader in engineering education and has led the School of Engineering, the Clark School of Engineering, with great skill, and the school has advanced because of it. So Darrell, thank you very much for stepping in to introduce our guest speaker for today. It's great. I guess we'll take this video contest off here. Oh, okay, good. Okay. Done.
So it is true that Dan was my academic advisor when I was 17, 18 years old. So this is a very important lesson that he likes to share and I like to share. You never know who your boss is going to become, because now I'm his boss. He's on leave of absence out of the College of Engineering, and I'm actually his boss. So I gave him permission to go to the academy. It's a really funny story that we have shared for 31 years now. But it also gives me the opportunity to say something else. As related to his remarks about engineering and the field of engineering and innovation in engineering, it's also important to have a great mentor. And Dan, you've been a great mentor to me. And it's one reason why I love the field of engineering like everyone in this room. So I want to thank you for that as well. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure. I'm substituting for Dr. James Tian, from Dean of the University of Miami Engineering. Unfortunately, he sends his regrets. He could not be here today. So I get the wonderful, distinct honor and pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Wanda Austin. Dr. Austin is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Aerospace Corporation, a leading architect for the nation's national security space programs. The Aerospace Corporation has nearly 4,000 employees and annual revenues of more than $850 million. She assumed this position on January 1st, 2008. She is internationally recognized for her work in satellite and payload